7 cheats can be seen in this exercise. Normally, the easier the exercise, the more you can see because the body cannot use the big muscles as much. Starting at the top is the upper back core, and the cheat is upper back extension. This can be seen at the beginning and the end of the exercise. Upper back extension and lower back extension pair together as a cheat when going beyond the neutral pelvis position with the ASIS bones. The upper back extensors are the second gear muscles, taking over the job of the internal obliques, which is the first gear muscle. As soon as attention is given to the internal obliques, you will be able to dissociate the upper back from the lower back, then this cheat will be better. At the end of the upper back rotation, when the body is to the side, the top shoulder hitch to the ear, also called shoulder blade elevation. The cheating muscle with shoulder blade hitch is levator scapular, but can also include the mobilizing function of the upper trapezius, as it's a mobilizer and a stabilizer. To fix this problem, we have to strengthen in the opposite direction, which makes the lower trapezius our first gear muscle to strengthen. This cheat you cannot see in the video, but it's important for me to mention as it happens often. It is a shoulder blade winging. If you sit behind the client, you will be able to see or feel the bottom shoulder blade winging when in rotation. This happens when the first gear muscles, middle traps, and serratus anterior are too weak to keep the shoulder blade in neutral. Then the second gear muscle, the pectoralis, takes over at the front. Next is lower back flexion in the lower back core. According to the joint movement range for the thoracic spine, the upper back can flex around 35 degrees before the lower back will start to join the party. Here, the chest lift is higher than 35 degrees, taking the lower back into flexion as well. The second gear muscle that is cheating is the rectus abdominis, where the first gear muscle, the multifidus, should actually be doing the job. Now we look at lower back extension. Like mentioned with the upper back extension and lower back extension pair together as a cheat when going beyond the neutral pelvis position with the ASIS bones. The QL is the second gear muscle that causes the extension movement and will take over, while the first gear muscles, the internal obliques and gluteus maximus, should be strong enough to avoid the overarching. A lower back side bend cheat happens when you can't keep the two sides equal during the rotation process. This is an easy one to see by looking at their clothing. The top side has more creases than the other side. Clients sometimes think that the goal is to reach the top elbow to the opposite knee. But since the QL is already cheating in so many ways in our daily lives, the goal of the exercise should be corrected. The goal is to rotate the body without using a side bend to complete the movement. Both sides should be equal while we turn on the axis of the spine. So the top side, with more creases, the QL is dominant, which is the second gear muscle for this movement. When you focus on the first gear muscles on the other side, which are iliacus, obliques, and also the QL, the body will equal out and the rotation will be pure. The last one for this exercise is lower back rotation. We should try to separate the upper body from the lower body, so the upper body needs to rotate on a neutral lower back. Here, the lower back is rotating with the upper back because the ASIS on the one side goes higher than the other side. This can also question the fact if the leg of the same ASIS, that is higher, is doing hip adduction or not. If you see hip adduction, it is best to take note of it because if the body is cheating in this way, it will show up in other exercises too. Quadratus lumborum and the external oblique are again the culprits here that rotates the lower back with the upper back. If the first gear muscles on the other side, so that would be the side of the ASIS that is higher, are strengthened, the lower back rotation will not occur. These muscles are internal oblique, gluteus medius, and gluteus maximus.